We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity podcast, and we're doing Action Vision team coaching, so we're just going to dive right in. Jemima, what would you like to accomplish today?
Get all my invoicing done and paid, get them all paid and get them done. And
No, you're supposed to ask me the question.
oh, sorry.
That's okay.
How can I be more prepared to get on this call?
So what
With,
I think you were going to ask me,
with
I'm trying to read your subconscious. I think your subconscious was saying, Mark,
fine time.
like Mark, yeah, how do you find time? It seems like, Mark, that you think a lot. How do you find so much time to think?
Yeah.
Was that what your
Yeah.
subconscious?
Yep.
Okay, good. So, that's a great question. So we have 1,440 minutes in a day, and we have 10,080 minutes in a week. When Nora was going through the 30-day challenge, Lincoln was there, and she said, "Hey, do you want to go ahead and watch a video of Mark?" And that little Weisenheimer, he went ahead and said, "That's not Mark." So he saw the picture, and I don't think I've changed. And so he saw the picture, which is a younger me. So I did that video, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. But when he went ahead, no, he's a sweet kid, love him. And so I love kids because they're so honest, right? Like, that's not Mark. And so when he heard my voice, he's like, oh, it is Mark. And so the first thing is memorize the 1,440 minutes. We have a lot of time. We have a massive amount. I mean, we have so much time, it's insane. If you tell the brain that you're busy, you don't have time, well, then your brain's going to believe you. And so my most productive time in thinking is when I sleep, actually. So this is scientific. It's just scientific. It's just science. Like, your brain never stops working. At least it's not supposed to. We were created where our brains weren't supposed to stop. So we don't have to, when we go to sleep at night, we don't have to worry about the light or hungry or are we going to get hurt or, what's going on. So your brain, so the best idea is when I get up in the morning, I am like on fire. I'm like, ooh, here's a great idea. So I go to bed and my wife just laughs because it's literally 1 to 2 minutes and boom, I'm out. And so a lot of my thinking gets done in my sleep. And then I find that, like, in the 10 videos, you guys went through that. Some of you went through it. For those that didn't go through it, you should. The key in going through it, though, is internalizing it. It's learning to internalize. It's like, and so how do you have 9 companies? How do you have 7 children, 11 grandchildren? How do you have all of that and still have an extra 20 to 30 hours of free time a week? It's how I think. And so I'm always thinking, like, there's always something. So if you get a journal, so get a hardbound journal. This is my journal now. So get a journal, get a really nice journal, really nice cover. And then go ahead and, like, I take it to church every Sunday morning. And in church, I'm thinking. Like, everywhere I go, I'm thinking. And if you have questions that like irritate you, like, do you guys know how a clam, do you know how a pearl is formed?
Yeah, a grain of sand gets into a clam, irritating it, and it forms layers over it.
He must have gone to some Baptist, or maybe Baptists aren't the only ones who use that story. So it's an irritant. And so when we get frustrated, when we're struggling with something, that's not a bad thing. It's like, if we can figure that out. So it's like a 3-year-old. Like, so my mind, Jemima, is like a 3-year-old boy. I'm curious about everything. Like, it's just, So I just think all the time, and I'm like thinking about this, and how do I do this more efficiently, and how do I get this done, and how do I say less words and communicate even better than what I'm communicating? So it's just, I don't know, that's what I do. Stephen, great question, Jemima. You can ask it again next week if you want. Ask it 2 or 3 times, because every time you'll get a different answer, and hopefully it'll be, really good. Stephen, what question do you have for us today?
How do I make it link up with me so that it has more meaning?
Okay, so that's good. And when you say it, what do you mean it?
Well, like the topics we go over sometimes, and I don't know,
Okay.
they just
Do you take good notes?
sometimes.
So Elaine is one of the top 3 note takers I've ever experienced in my life. I mean, within a few months of working together, she had like 3, like notebooks filled with stuff. She writes stuff down. So when you write things down, so if you're looking for answers to specific challenges and problems and things that irritate us and going through, like, what is it? And then taking ownership of stuff. Like, are we asking questions to almost like a victim? Like, we're almost being a victim, like we always have problems, like there's always something that's holding us back. Or are we always solving problems, always doing something more? So do we come excited and energized and passionate? And so, it's the coolest thing to go to Merle's, open house for the graduation. And Malachi comes running up to me. He's like, Mark. I'm like, yeah, buddy. Yeah. He's like, can we go on an adventure? I'm like, absolutely. And so, and he was persistent. Can we go now? Not quite now. Talk a little bit. Can we go now? He was just perfect. He was persistent where, okay, he wants to go, but not over some. I mean, it was, and we went on, I don't know, it was at least a half an hour, maybe 45-minute adventure. And I don't know if he's going to remember that, but I'm going to. I mean, we saw some big equipment stuff, and then we went and saw a fish that was 2 fish that were this big in the pond, and a bunch of other fish. Then he got this really cool rock that, we found. And so when we're childlike, we're going to learn. And so are we upbeat or are we downbeat? Are we coming to, like, what can I learn? What can I grow? And then having some, takeaway, like, what am I going to take away from this that I'm going to apply? And then if you connect with me, Stephen, via email, even once throughout the week, and say, Mark, this is what I'm trying to accomplish, and this is what I've tried, and it's worked, it doesn't work, whatever it is. The more we're engaged in something, the more skin we have in the game, so to speak, the more we're going to get out of it. Does that make sense, Stephen?
Kind of.
Nice. Mary, what would you like to accomplish today?
Well, I struggle with participating in this meeting every week. So what advice would you have for me on that side of it?
So one of the things is we teach our children not to be honest.
How?
Wow.
What's wow?
No, I said how. Like, how are we teaching them not to be honest?
Did somebody say wow or not? No?
Yes.
Okay, so Paul said wow. I thought I heard a wow. Like, what do you mean, Paul?
I feel like that's I've kind of
Right?
felt the same way at times, but yeah, it's kind of a wild statement.
Right. It's like, what? We don't do that. Yeah, we do. Because what we do is we lie to ourselves and we lie to the people around us, and other people like us to lie to them, and we like to lie. And the biggest lie is when you ask somebody, you know, well, why didn't you do this? Or why didn't you come? Why didn't you attend this? Or why didn't you get this done? And we say, I didn't have enough time. That's not the truth. That's a lie. The truth is it's not a high enough priority. That's the truth. But people don't want to say that. So I taught our children at a very young age, like, tell the truth. Like, why didn't you clean your room like your mother asked you to? Sorry, Dad, wasn't a high enough priority. And what would be my response when they said that?
Can you make it a higher priority?
Well, no, because I'd get excited. I'd be like, oh my goodness, you guys told the truth. That's so awesome. Man, Dad loves you. That's great. Now, let's take a look at your priorities. So we'd go through their day and look at them. And some days I'd say, you know what? I'm with you. I don't think it was a high enough priority today. Based on everything else, you helped your mom, you helped your younger sisters, you did this and this, and you did this. You know what? I think that it wasn't a high enough priority. There are other days that I'm like, you know, based on you goofed around for 3 hours, you don't even know what you did for 3 hours. It's not a high enough priority. So we think I'm not being nice to, you know, like I'm being nice to somebody by not telling them the truth. So Mary, if you look at this meeting, this 30 minutes, as the most important 30 minutes in your 10,080 minutes in a week. So you have 10,050 minutes beyond the 30 minutes. So if you look at this as the most important thing to be, you know, I don't know what your priorities are. Mine are personal relationship with God. I strive for relationship with my wife, relationship with my kids and family, economic engine, putting food on the table, and then the community and reaching the community. So if you look at this as the most beneficial, most important thing, you schedule it like you would a human being. Do you do anything with human beings on a weekly basis, Mary?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you treat this like a human being, like you're not going to blow off a human being. Probably. So a lot of times what happens is we think of task as inanimate objects of things that don't matter, have no significance. Like, I didn't get this done today, so it doesn't hurt anybody, but it does, because every task, every project, every piece is always connected to a human being. There's nothing we do that's not connected to a human being. So if you make it a top priority, this is just what's going to happen. I'm going to do this. And you say, I'm going to gain even more value from this. So if this gives you the most, this should give you, if you're spending 30 minutes on it, it should give you an hour and a half extra time. If you come next week and you say, Mark, I don't think this gave me an extra hour and a half of time. Okay, let's take a look. I would say, did you take notes? Well, no. Well, did you hear me talking to Stephen about taking notes? Well, yeah. I thought you were talking to Stephen. No, I'm talking to everybody. Okay. So do you have a problem? Do you have something that's taking you time? Do you have something like, are you coming in with this to this meeting and saying, this meeting is going to change my life forever? If we don't come in with that kind of an attitude, it's probably not going to happen. Does that make sense, Mary?
Yep.
So you push yourself harder and you push me harder. So you and me are pushed harder. Like, hey, because I miss you when you're not here. Like here, there's a new feature on this. Here's a new feature in the podcast, and this is John's vision. Now we go ahead and, this is John's vision. Mark went through it, did a reflection. Mary did, Elaine did, Anita did, Nora did. Wait a minute. Where are all of you guys on it? Well, at least Mary's there. Okay. So here, click on this, and it's Mary. Now there's a chat. This is brand new as of today. This is the first time I've seen it in action. And so you can go in and read Mary's and you can chat with her. It's still in experimental mode, so hopefully it works and it emails, gets you notified, so you get to interact. So one of the things is we get so busy in our jobs that we don't connect with coworkers. We're not in flow because we have so much work to do. Well, what if we were in flow? Would we get more work done? So you may take 5 or 10 minutes a week and just say, I'm going to go through these chats. I'm going to read what's Mary, because it's good. Because the Bible says without a vision, the people perish. That's pretty strong words. So what's the vision, and how does Mary see it? How do you see your vision connecting into John's vision and Mary's vision? And how do you guys all flow together? That's really important. That's really powerful. So nice. Paul, what do you have for today? You're on mute if you're talking.
I want to learn better implementation, better follow through, or I should say, how can I learn?
So, yeah, good question. So Tom Coons on a Thanksgiving, many Thanksgivings ago, I said, Tom, what's your biggest challenge? And he said, I need more patience with people. And I said, you actually don't need more patience. He's like, no, I really do. I said, no, you don't. And we argued back and forth. And finally he said, what do you mean I don't need more patience? I said, Tom, what you need is the people around you need to have less patience with themselves, because you're impatient because people are too patient. You see people's potential. And you're not tapped into it. They're not tapped into their own potential. So you get impatient with people because they're too patient with themselves. He said, wow, that's really good. I said, yeah, you need a system for that. He's like, you have any ideas? I said, yeah. So that Thanksgiving, literally, I went ahead and wrote him the white paper 2-3, Patience, the Silent Killer. So Paul is, from my perspective, he's too patient with people often. He's not direct enough with people. And I don't know if Paul's like me, but I struggle with being direct with people.
And I don't like when other people are patient.
Right. So what you do is, if you give other people around you, maybe like these first 6 white papers, WIFM is supposed to vaccinate against, and Nora's going through and redoing all of these. Like, it's really cool. Like, now there's flip books here. And so you can go on if you want to, and you can, blow it up, and then you can go ahead and watch it. So all of these are turning into flip books. So this one here, is the first one is What's in It for Me, is designed to go ahead and help people realize that we're all selfish. And so it's supposed to take away self-righteousness. Then we have Consistent and Committed. Most people think they're consistent and committed, but they need to take it another higher level. People want to earn more money. Okay, fine. To do that, we've got to have more consistency and more commitment. So I'm a pretty good pickleball player. And one of the things I've worked on in the last year is my consistency in everything. And then this is drive and discipline, and then clear communication. And this one here is self-vaporization. It's being harder on ourselves so the world doesn't have to be. So this is a really good one, Paul, to help people, beat yourself up so I don't have to. That's kind of what I'm saying. And then this one here, Patience, the Silent Killer. Like, patience is a virtue, patience. And I'm not saying you don't have that, but it talks about good patience and bad patience. And often the amiable and the analytic are very patient with themselves. And the driver and the expressive struggle with them. So if you can help people, to realize this, to say, maybe I'm too patient with myself. And then, Paul, you can you can go ahead and tell people, you can say, put it on Mark, just blame Mark. It's fine. It's okay. You can blame Mark and say, in the executive coaching, except your wife, don't blame me for your wife. Don't do this to your wife and blame me. Like, don't do that. Then she won't like. So you go ahead, but you can tell people, you can say, like, if you're developing Stephen, you can say, one of the things that Mark says that I need to do is I need to learn to be more direct. Can I be more direct with you? So you just come right out and ask them, Paul. Say, can I be more direct with you? And if they say yes, then you say, are you sure? And so I think a lot of times, Paul, people are really fragile and they're not used to having anybody confront them. And if you never have anybody confront you, you're probably not good at confrontation. Does that make sense, Paul?
Yes, that makes sense.
And so you build a culture where your whole team is strong and share things. Rip the Band-Aid off. Just be honest. Just share the truth. Excellent. You guys got a lot done today. This is very, very exciting. Anybody else have anything else you want to accomplish today? Okay. You have any questions on anything we covered? Connect with the individual who invited you to participate in today's session, or you can call toll free 888-230-2300 outside the US 630-393-9909. And always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We'll see you. Bye-bye.